Welcome to the Great White Brotherhood YouTube channel.
Hello, everyone. I'm back with a new video and a new lesson. So that's kind of cool. This is a lesson actually that many people over the years, quite a few years, have been asking for. So hopefully this kind of brings closure to that issue. And the issue is, for those who may know about it, is that in the original book, the first book that Bob got back in the early 80s, maybe even 1980 actually, that he with the first book that he was dictated to by the Great White Brotherhood dictated to Bob was called The Stairway to Freedom. That book in itself is a total book. All the other books that have come since that book are basically standalone, specific books, should I say, specific books. The Stairway to Freedom, if you wanted to know everything that you needed to do in your life and on this, in this life and after this life, that's the book you need to read. It's a little bit, the language that's used in that book is a little bit antiquated. It's a little old, as in it's very it's language that's not used today as so much is what I'm trying to say. And there are some words in there that might give you a little bit of problem if you don't have a wide vocabulary, shall I say. When I first read that book, there were some words in there that I had the most difficult time in understanding. So I was going to, Google a lot and trying to understand the meaning of some of these words. But don't let that stop you because overall, even if there's a few words in there you don't understand, so you don't get quite the meaning of what the book is or whatever this sentence, the paragraph is trying to tell you, you can move beyond that because in the end, once you go through the whole book, you'll understand it. Excuse me. And you'll all that is there is all that you need in life. Okay, so anyway, so that aside, there is a chapter in that book. It's chapter 6, and it is about diet and health. And in the original manuscript that Bob received from the Great White Brotherhood, it included a list of foods specific to each zodiac sign. And when Bob published that book as an audiobook on YouTube, it includes the list of foods for each zodiac sign. So the only way you could have previously got that information was to go to either Bob's YouTube channel, and he has each chapter as an individual video, as an audio file, audio video. And you can find chapter 6 on his YouTube channel. Alternatively, on my YouTube channel, the Great White Brotherhood YouTube channel, I went and downloaded all of the individual chapters from the book on Bob's YouTube channel and combined it into one long audio um, video on the Great White Brotherhood YouTube channel. And then I time stamped each chapter. So if you just want all of the book in one place, go to the Great White Brotherhood YouTube channel. You can find a link here on the website, and I'll show you here in a second. And you can find the book as an audio book. It's Bob reading out the chapters. Okay, it's not an AI voice. It's not me. It's Bob reading each chapter. But I took all the chapters, put it into one video, and time-stamped each chapter. I'll show you that in a second, actually. And then in that you can listen to um, you can listen to the book if you just want to sit back and listen to it and not read it. All right. So today, what is the new lesson? The lesson is I've published each one of those lists of foods for the zodiac signs as a PDF that you can download. So that's even better, right? All right. So when you come to the website, I've cleaned up the website a lot. I've just basically made the front page very clean and simple. There's the greeting message from the Great White Brotherhood. Please read it. There's the important message from the Great White Brotherhood about the future of humanity on Earth. A lot of you may think that it's no longer relevant, but we'll see. I hope it's not relevant. I'm in the camp that doesn't want to see, what's going to happen. So if you haven't read that message, go ahead and read it if you want. If you don't want to read it, that's fine. Don't read it. And but to find a new lesson, we come to click on the tab over here or the link for lessons. It opens up the new page, and there's a couple places you can find. So here, if you want, you can click on this link to go to where all the books are. We've got the books in English, French, and Arabic. So thanks to the French translator JD and the Arabic translator Mo for the hard work that they've done so far. Actually, I think all the books in Arabic are there, and about half of the books I think in French are there. So they'll keep coming. All right, and if you want a book, if you want to purchase the books in print, you can click on this link. And this is with regard to, specifically, this was regard to the Mysteries of Life 4-part series. You can find that here. But I think this takes you also, you can find all the books on Amazon if you want to print. Okay, so here's the first place that you can find a link to the Great White Brotherhood YouTube channel. So if we click on that, actually, I'm going to make sure it opens up into a new tab. So if we come here, you can see that we have the Great White Brotherhood YouTube channel. Now, if you want to find the book specifically, click on playlists. And if you go to the playlist for books, you can click on books.
Preface.
And here you go. So it's almost 11 and a half hours. But if you click on the description, I'm not sure, it's either here, you can click on here, and there's the list of chapters, and they also show here. Or you can click on this, drop it down, and you will find chapter 6 that we're going to talk about.
Stairway to Freedom.
So there you go.
Chapter 6.
Chapter 6.
Diet.
All right. So that's how you find the book on the Great White Brotherhood YouTube channel. So let's go back. All right. So I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. Look at all these lessons. If we get to the bottom, ta-da! New lesson, signs of the Zodiac, recommended diet for each Zodiac sign. And we're no longer, for those of you who have noticed, that we last ended on message 666, the mark of the beast, the devil, all that. We're no longer on that. So, and yes, for those of you who probably figured it out, it was a bit of a joke. It sort of naturally landed on lesson 666, although I kind of massaged it so it got there. And then I thought, excuse me, and I thought, how better to make the last message about the mark of the beast and all this other insanity on how to take control of somebody. How spooky is that? So anyway, all kidding aside, we're now past 666. So all those who say that they could say, look, see this proof that the Great White Brotherhood are all evil. We're now on lesson 667. So click on that. Signs of the Zodiac, recommended diet. So this section now, this lesson includes the previously omitted information from the book. Okay, so sorry, forgot to mention that. So I found Bob back in late 2015 on YouTube, and I found his book I I listened to the Stairway to Freedom. It just totally, I completely resonated with it. It completely blew me away, brought hope and joy to my life at that point because it was not too hopeful and joyful at that point in time. And I connected with it immediately. And I reached out to Bob because I read through the comments as I was listening to the videos. And I saw a lot of people were asking if this could be made into a book, like either a PDF or a printed book. And at that time, I had a little bit of experience with making books. I'm not a professional editor or publisher by any means, as you can tell from the early books, getting better as time goes. But I reached out to Book and said, or I reached out to Book, I reached out to Bob and I said, I can help. And that's when the connection made, and it's been, been with the great Bob and the Great White Brotherhood ever since. So, but when we went to make that book, and we got to chapter 6, Bob was steadfast and adamant that he was never happy with the list of foods, that it was not complete, and he wanted to omit it from the book. So we did so. And in a way, Bob was correct. It's not a complete list of foods, as you will see. Some of you might look at it and think, well, that's fine. It looks like a complete list to me. It just depends on where you live, what foods you eat, and that kind of thing. Because, I mean, just from my own experience, I can already, I've already noticed that things like blueberries, garlic, dragon fruit, not that I really like dragon fruit or eat it much at all. Um, there's no herbs in there at all. So it is incomplete in that way. You can see here on the screen, I've kind of made a little thing about, how it's kind of incomplete, but that shouldn't stop you. So that's why I've decided to put it out on the website here and make a video so you're all aware of it, about it, and make it available to everybody. I don't see any harm in having it available, and then you can use it as a guide, okay? This is not medical or scientific um, advice, okay? If you want to try this diet based on your zodiac sign, then go for it. I actually do implement the list of foods in my life, and I try and stick with it. Of course, at the end of the day, none of the foods that are and I'll show you the list of foods on an actual PDF in a second here. None of the list of foods that are on there that are in the bad section are going to kill you unless that's all you ate, I guess. And then eventually it might kind of slowly, very slowly, lead you down a path that you may not find pleasant. To me, I think what it does is that it's just food that doesn't sit with you quite as well, may make your stomach a little bit upset, may not give you that health and vitality and energy that you're looking for and you want. And really, this is all about, to me, based on me eating this food for a long time, not strictly, of course, but I'm getting more strict. I think what it is, it just helps you elevate your energy, your feeling, your consciousness, how you feel. It's really what about. If you eat the lower foods on the list, you may not feel as good, and it may, make for your belly feel a little upset, especially if you combine the foods with the best food and the lowest food. That might make, you might not feel all that great. That's what I've kind of felt, and I'll show you in a minute, explain why I'm saying that. So you can read through this yourself. I'm not going to go through all the words here. Um, like I said, sorry, it is good information. Okay, let me read this part. The reason that the information was omitted from the official publication of the book was due to the author's concern, Bob, that the information was not complete, and it is not, like I just mentioned. So it was decided to leave that information out of the book until a future date, which unfortunately never came, and it hasn't to this date anyway, time, when the information could be more complete. However, it is still good information in a general sense and should only be used as a guide, as the list of foods certainly does not include a complete list of available foods all over the earth. And that is available for purchase online or at local markets. You can read this in the actual chapter if you want, but I'll just quickly say at the time of writing the original book, which was like in 1980, there was no internet, and all the food, there's something we're so used to now. How could we live without it? There was no internet, and all of the foods listed were researched by Bob from either cookbooks and libraries and whatever, he could talking to maybe other people, whatever, maybe from the Great White Brotherhood helped him out a little bit. And because of the region the book was authored, and I think when he wrote the original book, he was still in England, only the foods known to the author or found through research were considered, right? Makes sense. So, of course, this list, so if you're coming to this list to try and find any processed food or restaurant food, burgers from McDonald's, you're not going to find it on this list. So, of course, this list is for whole food, vegan, or plant-based diet only. There's no animal products or byproducts or any processed foods are included or recommended. If you want to find out, if you want more detailed information about the whole health, because it's not just about the food list, okay? That chapter is about everything to do with health and diet. You want to go, you can click on these links and they'll take you either to the chapter or you can listen to it online on YouTube. Now, if you're not all that familiar with the Zodiac signs, this is information I obtained from Google AI. The 12 signs of the Zodiac, which correspond to periods of the year, are Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. Each sign is associated with specific birth dates and is often used in astrology to understand personality traits and compatibility, according to the Old Farmer's Almanac. I'll first say before I read through this a little bit further, the Great White Brotherhood have never really talked about astrology. This is about the only time that I can think of that the Great White Brotherhood have mentioned astrology. So I don't know much about astrology, even myself, only a little bit from what I've seen on YouTube or read here, to be honest with you. Of course, I knew about it before, just about your dates, and you can go online and look at some prediction that might be associated with your birth date. And some of it's sort of relevant, and most of it's not. So I kind of know about my own star sign. I don't like, I kind of, even before I made this, I forgot about some of the names of these zodiac signs. Like I didn't realize there was one called Virgo, for instance, or Gemini. But regardless of that, I mean, no offense if that's your star sign. I just don't know much about it. The Great White Brotherhood don't talk about it much, and so there wasn't much importance put on it, and I don't waste too much time worrying about things that if the Great White Brotherhood don't find important, then I guess I don't find important either. The other thing I will mention is like there's many zodiac signs. Now maybe they're called other things, I don't know. But I know that there's Vedic astrology, tropical astrology, Western astrology. There's, Chinese. I don't even know them all. But so again, how this fits in for you, I'm not really sure. I assume that because Bob was in England or France when he wrote this, and, he probably had guides who are British or were British on Earth. That seems to be the case. That and most of the people who watched the channel and who were known to Bob, maybe not back when he wrote this book, but of course the Great White Brotherhood looking forward would see most of the people that watch this are from the USA and probably follow Western astrology. Not that I'm saying that that's better than any other astrology. I sort of understand that Vedic astrology might be better, but whatever, it doesn't matter. You could probably follow and maybe the Great White Brotherhood were, knew well enough to just make it the star sign, like this first one as an example, for Aquarius, no matter what um, astrology type you followed. Maybe that doesn't matter. But I just listed here the most common one that people know, which is the Western type astrology. And you can see the list here. I'm not going to read through it all, the name and the date sort of timeline for each one. That's just to help you if you want to come and say, oh, I'm born between date such and such, such, I must be a Libra, if you didn't know already. Okay, so here's the list and here's the PDF for each sign. Okay, now you see I already clicked on one because that just happens to be my sign, Sagittarius. So I've already downloaded it and it opened up here. And here's how the list is formatted. So for the Sagittarius diet, all you Sagittarius out there, hello, hello. That's based on the um, Western timeline. I don't know if on some other astrology chart, I'm in some other one. I don't know. For all you astrology people, leave a comment in the link if I'm in a different sign. But this one seems to actually work for me. So it's sort of broken this way. You can see it's a little bit different. It's just based on how Bob read it out, because what I did is I used a transcription service and got a transcription of Bob's audio, and that's how I made the book in the first place, and this was part of it. Then I basically formatted it for a little bit easier reading. So it sort of follows this layout of considered excellent, very good, good, poor but acceptable, not recommended, to be avoided, and worst of all. May not exactly be in that, but it'll certainly start out as by excellent, very good, good, poor, and not recommended, bad, blah, blah, blah. So it's also broken into vegetables, fruits, nuts, and pulses. This is, in my opinion, it doesn't really matter because it's just the food. Okay, so it may be sometimes you'll see that a vegetable is in the pulses section or the pulses section. Don't worry about that. That might have been my mistake from way back when. Who knows? Maybe Bob made a mistake when he read it out. Don't worry about it, because at the end of the day, all that matters is that the food is categorized under excellent, very good, good, poor, and so on. Regardless of whether it's a fruit, a vegetable, or not, you can kind of figure that out for yourself if you want. So this is how it's going to be broken down for each diet, okay? And like I said, at the excellent stage, that would be presented by the Great White Brotherhood as the food that would most help you feel your best, help you feel the most conscious and alive. Okay, I don't know how else to put it, but that's basically what it would be. So, this would be the most considered the excellent. So if you're if you're a Sagittarius, beets, broccoli, mushrooms, and peas would be your most excellent vegetables. And I would say that if you're going to combine vegetables, like you're saying, like that's pretty restrictive. All I can eat is beets, broccoli, mushrooms, and peas. Well, if you mixed it with very good, that's probably still good. Like, and then think about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know if you'd mix all these together, but still 10 vegetables in one meal. Not many people mix that many foods. Plus, you could have beans and nuts, and I don't know, I wouldn't probably combine fruits and vegetables together too much. They digest at very different rates, especially fruits and nuts, or beans, especially fruits and beans. Beans digest slowly. That's why you feel full and satiated. You don't feel hungry very fast. You eat fruits, you feel hungry quickly afterwards. Maybe, depends on how long you've been eating maybe a lot of fruits and your body absorbs it better. Malnutrition, how your body utilizes can it digest it? First of all, you just whoosh right through your system, or you're already impacted and your food's digesting slowly and fermenting and putrefacting inside yourself. Think about that one. Or do you have a good flowing digestive system? You're eliminating often, or multiple times a day, not once a day. Once a day is fine. Once every other day, not so good, and so on and so on. But fruits you should generally eat on its own and give yourself time in between. Don't eat a big pile of heavy food like pastas and breads and meats if you eat still or anything heavy, beans, and then immediately eat fruit on top of that. That fruit is going to digest quickly and it's going to cause you um, some gastrointestinal discomfort, right? So that's another thing how to look at this is that, stuff like vegetables and some lighter beans or, buckwheat and oats would be a better combination if you're gonna kind of eat that. Nuts are not too bad. Maybe soak them and sprout them first, kind of lighten them up so that they are more easily digested, or eat them on their own, right? Eat the nuts on their own, eat the veggies on its own, whatever you want to do. But you could certainly combine this list with this list easily, probably even in the list. So, I mean, look at the list of vegetables. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Not many people are going to eat that much. So if you want to combine, if you say, well, I don't like beets, I like broccoli, and I like potatoes and carrots, okay, no problem, right? Combine those. But, I wouldn't probably eat a ton of mushrooms and broccoli, mushrooms, peas, and spinach and stuff a lot. All right. So use some common sense, obviously, with this and play with it. There may even still be on this list. You may, it might have to do with when you're born, but you'll notice that if you go through the lists, they just kind of shuffle. So the top of the Sagittarius diet is excellent. The next sign, whatever it is, I can't remember. That next sign, the excellent may be very good, and a new one may be on the top as excellent. That's kind of how you'll just see it just kind of shifts down or up maybe as it goes, I've noticed. So my own personal experience, okay, if you're interested in that, is um like for me, I'm not really a fan of beets. It's not that they don't make me feel bad. I'm just not a fan of them, so I don't really eat them too often. I definitely like broccoli and I like peas and I like mushrooms. Um, Now, on this list, if we take, for example, like spinach, I like spinach. I haven't noticed if it's given me any problems. I don't eat it a lot, but I like it. I like the texture. I like the flavor. I put it in meals. I'm not sure. Maybe if I ate too much of it, it would sort of make me not feel good. I don't know. Again, you have to play with this. And if you go through the list and you find there's not a food on here that you do eat and you're okay with it, then add it to the list. Don't worry about it, is what I'm saying. Um, Parsnips, I don't like. Bean sprouts, nope, not a fan. Apples, okay, I can honestly say apples for as long as I can remember. And most people are like, apples? It's the most common food in most of the world, right? Tons of people eat it. Millions and billions and trillions of apples are sold every year. Apples, for as long as I can remember, cause me digestion problems. Absolutely, hands down, no doubt. So when this list came out and I saw apples at the bottom for me, like, don't do it, no problem. And I used to eat apples because, well, you're supposed to eat apples, right? They're good for you when I have to, especially where I live in Canada. Apples are grown plentiful here. Pistachio nuts, don't eat them very much. Beans, French beans, nah, I don't like them. So, no problem. Don't mind. Right? If I go through the rest of this list for me first, olives. I love olives. I don't eat them too much, but I do love them. But it's considered to be avoided. So am I going to avoid them? No, every once in a while I'm going to eat olives. Again, I'm saying, don't think that if you eat the worst of all food on here that you've got to avoid it like the plague, like a don't touch it with a 10-foot pole kind of thing. That's not what is going on here. just eat it in, in moderation, much moderation, I guess I would say. But again, if you look at your star sign and you see food on the bottom of the list and you go, what? I eat that all the time and I feel great. Okay, go for it. Or maybe try not to eat it so much and eat the foods at the top and see what happens. If you eat the foods at the top and you're like, this food is killing me, well, maybe there is a problem with the star sign dates and you're not in that star sign. I don't know. I don't even want to go there, but just saying, like, for me, so dates are showing up here as a food for me to avoid, okay? And figs. I have to admit that although I love dates and figs, especially dried, um, I've noticed that, and I didn't really eat them very much because they're expensive and, you know, whatever. For whatever reason, I don't eat them very much, but I've been eating more fruit in my diet and especially some dried fruit because it helps kind of keep you full or fuller longer. Um, I've noticed, and so on here I've got plums. So I've been eating prunes, which are just dried plums. And apricots somewhere here on my considered poor but acceptable. So I've been eating some prunes, apricots, and some dates. I've stopped eating figs a while ago just because I did notice that, although I love the taste of them, was giving me some discomfort. So I've been eating dates a little bit, and at first I thought, oh, this seems okay. So for a while I've been eating some, as I said, prunes, apricots, and dates, all dried. And at first it was good. Now I'm noticing I'm starting to get some discomfort. So I'm wondering if the dates are causing that on the list because the apricots are in the poor but acceptable list. Okay. So I'm going to drop dates for now and probably even apricots actually. And I'm just going to have some prunes. Okay. So I'm just giving you this information as an example. You're going to have to play with this as well and see how it goes for you personally. Okay. So having said all that, I'll just say in summary, come to when you come onto the homepage, I'll leave the link actually right to the lesson under this video, but it's way down at the bottom. It's a new lesson. Click on that, and then you can find the star sign associated with you and click it. Click on the download the PDF, print it out, have it handy, keep it in the fridge, in the kitchen, put it on your fridge, put it somewhere anyway, wherever that's handy for you, so that you can kind of look to, because it does take quite a while to remember the foods at the top versus the foods at the bottom. I would say don't go too crazy strict about it. Play with it, experiment with it and experience it for yourself so you can learn. And if you've been wondering, like, man, I keep eating this food because I'm told it's supposed to be good for me. If we go back here, like just for example, let's see something, bran for me, right? Supposed to be super healthy for you and all this other stuff. I've never found bran to be healthy for me. Um, Peanuts, there's another one. Real life example for me, peanuts. I love peanuts. I used to eat peanut butter toast forever. Sort of still did not till too long ago, but it always gave me indigestion. Not only probably the wheat from the bread, and I ate, even ate the healthy bread, the multi-grain, ancient grain bread, blah, 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 with peanut butter on it, and gave me a lot of intestinal gas, bloating, heartburn problems. So here it is on the bottom of my list. There's a world life example for me personally. So again, go through the list, see if suddenly something on there you're like, yeah, okay, that makes sense, or that doesn't make any sense at all. You have to play with it and do it for yourself. Okay. So for all those of you who have reached out to me over the years and wanted this list, here it is finally. And I hope that all of you get something out of this, implement it into your life, and it does help you for the better. Okay, so I'm going to stop here. Thank you very much. If you have any questions or your own personal experience, please leave a comment below. And thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next video.
Thank you for watching this video. Please visit our website at thegreatwhitebrotherhood.org for free books and lessons to help you on your spiritual journey.